Hi everybody, Dave here, admin of mahalasastrology.com. Today is October 11th, 2018, and I'm here to talk about the next two reports that we're going to post for all the community members on the website. So, as it so happens, I have a couple of reports here. This is the one I've been talking about for a long time, which is the Indra report, and the other one is Life Path report. And so I'm pretty excited about the Indra report in particular because this particular report is fairly extensive. It goes in pretty deep into all these aspects associated with your natal. These are both natal charts. One is more of a life themes. The other one's in-depth natal interpretation. And so basically, I'm going to make these, I've uploaded the reports to your account, and I'm going to make them available to you. Basically, I guess I want to show you a little bit about the report. Everybody knows that these are computer generated, and these particular reports, they're all done by different astrologers. The way the software runs is it goes out and it finds the attributes, the aspects that the planets are making at the time of your birth, and then it proceeds to go find the astrologer's interpretation for that aspect. And then it's a matter of how do they put it together and what do they emphasize and how is their look on that particular element. So everybody might have a slightly different interpretation of what the sun is and how it represents what you are and how the moon influences you and the rest of the planets. They all have their own little take on it. Thus, it's really fun to see how they all interpret these things slightly differently. So anyway, let's go to the website. And on the website, this particular video I'm going to post in the community section, and just as an FYI, I put up a coordinates and birth time article there, basically talking about the rotation of the Earth and how much distance is covered in 1 minute worth of time. So when you look at your birth certificate, you look at your location, how critical is that to determine the exact right report. And as it turns out, these reports are generally the orbs that they use for the aspects are the major ones can be up to 8 degrees. The more minor ones get down to a couple degrees. But when you think about a degree, that's miles worth of time that transpire on the Earth as it rotates. And so it makes it to where you can have a little bit of leeway with regards to what those big major aspects are and not have to worry about it. So if you're not exactly sure what your birth time is, all the major aspects will still hold pretty much for a number of minutes based on those orbs. So that is an FYI. The report section, when just like for everybody, when I post these reports, go to the reports page, click on the login word, which will take you to the login page, and then you'll get your reports unrolled there. And what I'm seeing right now is when I reviewed this, depending on whether or not the Book of Destiny had karma cards for you or whether or not your birth time was known, there's anywhere from 23 to 26 or so reports posted for everybody. A couple of those are just images, but like a solar wheel or a solar return wheel or a lunar return wheel that shows you the planets at that time that the chart was run off of. But those reports are all there. There's a bunch of information. Some of them go pretty deep. And let's see here. What I've done is I've also, because of what I announced last month with regards to the lunar return reports, I have those now on our purchase. If you are simply want to find out what your lunar report is, I do 3 lunar reports for somebody. Or actually, it turns out to be 3 and a little bit more. So I run 4 reports, but you happen to be in the first one. And so if you don't want to get into a complete community, but you would like to get your lunar report, there you go. It's real simple. I'll send it to an email. We'll exchange the information needed to do those reports. And let's see. The subscription. So looking at this, the click here to view sample reports. This particular, so for our fictitious character, there's 26 postings that I've made for him. And the one thing I want to point out here is the weekly advanced forecast for October 7th. So all the community members, I've got this weekly report that comes up now. So I'm going to make it a point to every weekend to update this. so that during the weekend you can take a look at your advanced forecast weekly report that shows the transits that are coming up for the upcoming week. And then getting back to the Indra report, the Indra report has what's really important. I did a video on this earlier. I think I'll link this in the description or in this post so that you can look at how I reviewed it before. But the key thing here is that there's a couple of main structures to this. The first little bit is about how things are gathered for your natal chart. And then the report goes into all the different planets. And at the end, it goes back and looks at it and says, well, what are some of the things that I would highlight for you? And so then it goes off and does your uniqueness, the easiest areas, the most persistent difficulties. So what it'll do is it'll find those things to point out to you by going back and grabbing those aspects that is already displayed for you and putting it in this particular section. So you'll see the interpretations may be duplicated in a little way, but they're presented to you differently. And then I think that's basically the root of it for this. Looking at the life path, the thing that I really like about this report is that it goes into, here at the very end, it goes into the rulers of the houses. And so notice these couple pages here. This is the house rulerships. So I haven't seen anybody else do this, where they basically pick out the planetary rulers, what house they're in, to show the aspects of how that interacts. So it's kind of cool. It's a couple pages for most everybody here. And so the first thing I would point you to is to go find chapter 13 in your life path report and then come back and take a look at the whole thing. But anyway, that's kind of what I wanted to show you. I've got these 2 reports coming up, and I'll have another weekly for you this weekend. It's kind of excited. The thing I'm really excited about is that when I first envisioned this program for the community members, I saw it as it's going to be a collection of a bunch of information. It may be more information than what you really want to see right away, but it becomes your reference location. You can come back to this. You can open up any one of these reports anytime during the year and reference it. You can print it out and put it in a notebook, kind of like what I've done, so that you can reference these things at any time you want. You get to see what's happened. So for instance, as we go through these weekly reports, you'll get transits that'll come up and you'll get to see the aspects that are happening. It may be that you're not interested today and you're not interested tomorrow, but it may be that a month from now, you'll look back and say, wow, I can't believe this happened to me and I didn't see it coming. And then you'll look back on your transit report and you'll see, oh, here's how they were talking about it. And then that's what I lived through. You're going to be able to do the comparisons between them for you, particularly to be able to figure out what types of planets, what types of configurations you gravitate most towards, or the ones that you're most susceptible to, or the ones that you overlook and they tend to just happen to be that life current that transpires in your life. But anyway, I would love to see you join the community if you haven't already. You can see the list of reports is fairly extensive. Nowadays, I'm able to upload most all these reports in your first visit to the website. And anyway, I'm going to go off and find a couple more reports to be able to bring your way and see what cool aspects there are with regards to it. Anyway, have a great day.